So my first question is, what brings you here to Trafalgar Square today?
We're celebrating Jagannath Rath Yatra, a big festival. So yeah, it originates from India. There's a big festival that happens in India. Same principle. The chariots, the carts. Over 1 million people come once a year. So yeah, we're just celebrating here in London.
And how long have you been part of this community?
I've been practicing Krishna consciousness for 4 years now, just over 4 years.
I'm a resident monk at our monastery in Watford. It was donated by the Beatles, so this is an annual festival we have. And to kind of boil it down to its essence, just bringing spiritual values into society and just trying to teach a more peaceful, harmonious way of life.
Awesome. You mentioned spiritual values. What are some of those values and how do they affect your life?
I guess the root value that we see is very much intimately connected with spirituality is selflessness. And we believe that where there's selflessness, then all other qualities come from that. Compassion, empathy, kindness, truthfulness.
So one of the things I've heard is that there's no meat eating here.
Yeah.
It's all vegetarian.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Why is that? There's many understandings, but the basic one is, killing a living entity creates some karmic reaction. It's not good to kill living entity. So the main reason is, it's bad. It's not good to kill.
Are you all vegetarian?
Yeah, we believe whatever you eat has a big impact, not only on the physical body, but on the mind. The kind of diet we have, if it engenders violence, if it engenders a sense of insensitivity towards the feelings of other living beings, then we begin to take on that consciousness.
Right.
So we try to live in the most non-violent way as possible.
How do you feel about dairy, the dairy industry? Are there any ethical implications of that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they call it blood milk. So basically, in modern society, it's kind of hidden behind closed doors, but the milk that comes from the dairy industry, after the cows have given all their milk and they're too old, they go straight to slaughter.
Right.
So in our culture, in our understanding, cow is one of the 7 mothers. So how would you treat your own mother? In this way we treat the cow.
Yeah.
So you would never kill your own mother if you were.
So does that mean that the Hare Krishnas are vegan as well as vegetarian?
Again, we're practical. So where we need to, we'll purchase milk. If it can be organic, if it can be grass-fed and hand milk, better.
Everything has many levels to it. So there's levels to karmic implication. To some degree, yes, but it may be not as severe. That's why I said you can't get it right. No one gets it right.
Absolutely.
No, even say you're a very strict vegan, you want to take no animal. Hey, you go into a movie that's made by somebody who else ate meat. It's just like it's so intertwined. It's impossible.
Sure.
So we just do our best.
Yep.
That's all. So you can take something that's got the minimal impact on the world and to other living entities. So cheese doesn't have the same impact. An animal wasn't killed to make cheese. The milk was taken, wasn't killed.
So we're trying to develop farms where we care for cows, we milk them humanely, they live a very happy life, and even when they stop giving milk, we care for them till the end of their life. And in that way, human and animal live together very harmoniously.
Do you think that it's exploitative in any way to take their milk without consent? I know it's tricky.
As I mentioned, we understand that cows and humans have a natural relationship. Just as bees make honey and humans use that for different things, health benefits and so on and so forth.
I mean, it's a natural thing for cows to breed and to have their offspring and give milk. It's a natural thing. It's been going on for generations. And they're well looked after. So I don't see any problem in that respect.
Would there be an issue if I did it to a woman, a human?
Sorry,
would there be an issue if I did it to a human female?
Impregnated?
Yeah, if I said, well,
strange, but
it is strange, but is it unethical if I used her for her milk?
I mean, yeah. Okay.
Constantly pregnant, constantly having her babies taken, around 5 years, and then she's killed because she doesn't produce as much milk. Do you personally see an ethical issue with that practice?
That's just hellish, horrendous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really horrible, frankly, very, very horrible. And that's why, for us, part of our movement, we have two types of temples. One in the city to meet people like this, and the one in the countryside where we show how you have a cow, and treat her as your mother, and she has calves, and you look after the mother and the calf, and she still gives you milk also.
The dairy products that are being sold here, they're coming from the dairy industry, right?
Yes. They're coming, yeah. So we are in the attempt of making ahimsa farms and making a change globally to the way cows are treated.
Yeah.
Until we make that step and until we get to that point, we're kind of forced to obviously be with the dairy industry, and we try to minimize it as much as possible. But we do believe that dairy is a very important part of the human diet. And there could be a lot of scientific evidence we could get into for that.
Sure.
Statistics and different studies that have been done. So
That's a fair point. I think, because the American Dietetic Association, maybe you don't, but they're the largest organization of nutrition experts in the world. And they released a peer-reviewed statement in 2016 saying that a vegan diet is healthy for all stages of the life cycle, including infancy, pregnancy, adolescence, and athletes.
We need milk for our brain tissues to develop, to understand these higher principles, and it doesn't harm the cow. So it's a natural thing, and it's talked about in Shastra. Krishna actually loves cows. One of Krishna's favorite things is cows and Brahman. So I don't see a problem in it.
But I mean, you mentioned how we need it for our brains to function. Do you think that you can be healthy without exploiting animals? If you were to leave here and be vegan, could you be healthy?
Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, you can.
So would you agree with me in that it is unnecessary what we're doing to them?
Unnecessary?
Yeah.
What we're doing to cows?
Yeah. So making
to cows, or what
both.
What we're doing to cows and what the industry are doing to cows.
Both.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean,
anybody that deals with cows in reality knows a cow loves to give milk, and to be taken milk to give to humans as well. See, they take it to the extreme that we're not meant to take milk. That's not the case. Anybody who looks after a cow knows a cow gives way more milk than a calf can drink. It's just reality. So
I thought that was generally because we bred them to breed more milk than they would naturally. With a festival like this, do you see an issue that the dairy products here are coming from that commercial farming?
So yes, it's a problem, but then there's the practical level. You try to do what you can, and then there is a spiritual level, in that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that if you offer to him with love, he takes the karma.
Right.
So there is a philosophical. Now, it doesn't mean you don't try your best still to reduce any implications in this world. You should. But still, there is this thing where anything we eat, we first offer to God.
If we can be healthy without paying for this suffering in the dairy industry, surely the better alternative would be for this place to be vegan now and not to be selling these products that cause this suffering.
So what we essentially want to do is, the most ideal is get to a point where humans and cows have that natural relationship and care for each other. What we really need to be doing in society is teaching people spiritual values. Like, for example, if I asked you, who are you? What would you say?
Oh, that's a really hard question to answer. I'm not sure what I'd say.
Who are you?
I'd say I'm Jack.
Okay. But tomorrow you could change your name. According to the town hall, you could change your name to John.
Yes.
Would you still be the same person?
I suppose there's an abundance of different characteristics that makes me me in terms of my personality, who I am. It's hard to label it down.
The essence of who you are?
Maybe my morality.
Your morality, but sometimes people's morals change. Like, you're making these videos.
Yeah, and I'd say that I change as well.
Yeah. So you're making these videos, people change their morals. So you can't be your morals, because your morals could change.
But my being changes with it. I'm not saying I'm the same person I was 10 years ago. I do change with my morals. Because I completely get where you're coming from. You're saying it's worse over there. What I'm trying to get at is, if we don't need to.
What is your opinion?
So my opinion is that the cow doesn't belong to us. Their life, they have their own individual life, and they're not ours to exploit. It's not our milk. It's not our egg. It's not our flesh. And I think the least we can do is just to leave them alone to live their life. And we can consume plants. We don't need to hurt. We don't need to exploit any being. How do you feel about that? Would you?
Yeah, that's your opinion. That's fine. That's no problem.
Would you agree with me?
I mean, like I say, my personal opinion is worth nothing. So we speak from Shastra.
Since the commercial milk that we're selling here is coming from those practices where the cows are killed when their milk production slows, do you think that Krishna would rather this festival was vegan?
No, because we have the conviction that people seeing the Lord, hearing the holy name, gets much more benefit. And then even if there wasn't common implication, it's it's insignificant compared to the benefits you get. That spiritual benefit is eternal, and that has a much bigger impact on us.
But could we still have that spiritual benefit just having like almond milk or oat milk rather than a cow's milk here?
No, because the Lord takes pleasure in offering dairy. It is part of to offer the Lord.
But can hurting these animals in this way be justified by pleasure?
The Lord's yes.
Didn't expect that answer. Because if I was to hurt another human and I said it's giving me such great pleasure, and maybe my God is getting pleasure from this.
So then you're extrapolating a point and speculating upon it. But Christian he says also don't hurt any humans.
Yeah.
So you can't take that point and hurt a human. So it's like taking an example and then stretching it. So no, obviously not. There's no pleasure in that. So we don't take pleasure in it, but it is a necessity in our process to use dairy.
Is it a necessity?
It's a necessity, yes.
This festival here, you admit, is causing harm to animals.
It's not causing harm in the sense that the purpose of these festivals, as I mentioned, is to teach people spiritual
Absolutely.
knowledge that will eventually get to the root cause of the problem.
And I think I'm not questioning your intentions at all. I think it's great what you're doing, but you acknowledge where however good your intentions are, the selling of dairy products here is causing a huge amount of suffering to animals in the dairy industry, right?
As I said, the main purpose of the festival is to teach people spiritual values, sensitivity, whereby we'll make a root cause,
Sure.
a root solution to this.
And you know the Govinda's restaurant, in Soho, they're buying gallons of milk from the dairy industry directly.
That's the manager just there.
Oh really? Maybe I should interview him next. Do you think that's in line with ahimsa?
No. But we're not saying we've got it right. We're not saying we've got it right.
Would you agree with me in saying that being vegan would be closer to ahimsa?
No.
So not paying for that violence, is that not closer?
No, because the benefit, I mentioned that thing of the spiritual benefit, the chain is there, the spiritual benefit is there too. So I take it you're a vegan, right?
Yes.
Okay. But I say, as a vegan, I said, this shirt that you bought, very likely made by somebody who ate meat. You don't know, like, again, you're doing the best you can, right? You are doing the best. You look at the products, you're making sure there's no dairy. But come on, let's be honest, there is no way we're not, because in this world, unless you live in a forest, grow your own food, make your own clothes. You're not. You get in a car. You go to watch a movie. Like you watch movies.
Sometimes, yes.
I don't. Because movies. What do I see them use the packaging of McDonald's? You see a movie and you see McDonald's.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, they're like the biggest calculator. So obviously I think no. So if I watch that movie, I'm getting implicated.
Sure.
So the point is.
You can't be perfect. I totally understand that. I know I am causing harm just by being alive. I could have stood on an ant on the way here.
Actually, there's a Sanskrit expression for that. It's called Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. For one living entity to live, something else has to.
Yeah.
You just minimize what you can. So we're saying, our point is here, we're minimized, but we won't minimize the point of no dairy at this point.
But it would be so easy just to pick up a different type of milk in the supermarket.
It's not the same. Not the same. No, it's not a milk. Calling it a milk, calling almonds soaked in water and blended milk is not. That's a packaging PR program. It's not milk. Okay. Milk is different from almond water. I like almond water. I like soy. I like them. I drink them. But it's not. To call it milk is a little PR cheating.
Okay.
Because it's almond soaked in water, blended.
So I'll say you can get an alternative that tastes similar.
No.
You definitely. It's like.
Don't mate, come
have
on.
you tried oat milk?
Yes, of course I've had them all. I like them all. They're fine. They're not, mate. There's
no cruelty.
If you can put a piece of tofu beside me and a piece of paneer cheese.
Yes.
Sorry.
I totally understand. I love the taste of these products. Cheese, I loved it. But we can't justify hurting others by getting pleasure alone. It's not a good enough reason, is it?
So this is the restaurant manager.
Oh, hello.
These major Govindas are taking so much milk for their busy restaurants.
So we're talking about the dairy industry, and I'm trying to raise awareness of the cruelty in the dairy industry. Are you aware of it?
Absolutely.
Do you think that when we buy the dairy products around here, the dairy products in your restaurant, is it not contradicting your faith by putting animals through this torture?
it's we can say such a way that the animal being benefited by using their milk, because we are offering the milk to the lordships. So definitely gets that way animal gets benefit.
But the animals, the cows are taken away from their babies in the dairy industry.
That's for sure. You can't, it will be a best, like we have a farm in Bhaktivanta Manor. Only problem is we can't produce enough.
Exactly.
Like we have also in Leicester farm.
Yeah.
We have also, there is not enough producing milk.
Because of that, surely we should err towards veganism, so we're not paying for cows to be tortured.
You see that's for sure. It's a good. Veganism is absolutely we support. It's a good. At least the poor animal cannot be slaughtered.
Yeah.
That's way. But then again, the animal left over, we have to be also taken care of those. I mean, like you don't buy the milk, they're going to send it to again slaughters.
So I guess the thing is, as veganism increases gradually, the amount of animals and cows they breed would go down until they stop breeding them.
For sure.
I mean, what would be the barrier stopping you from saying my restaurant is going to be vegan? I'm not going to pay for a cow to be put into a rape rack and put someone's hand inside, have their baby stolen, have knives drawn across their throats. You could make that choice. And I promise you, the vegan community would support you in doing that.
Yeah.
They would flock towards your restaurant if it became vegan. So what would be stopping you?
Yeah, well, we do, as I said earlier, it's a beneficial cows.
But is it? Does it benefit that cow in being tied down in the rape rack? Are they thankful for that?
We're all going to suffer.
Yeah.
Everyone.
That doesn't justify us contributing to it.
This is called a dukhalayam, full of misery, nothing else.
But we're contributing to it by buying the milk. We're making it happen more.
But simultaneously, as a point, and this is where you could say it's our conviction on faith, which people can have a hard time. But by taking that milk from that situation, which is so horrible, that soul that was tempering that body gets more benefit.
Yeah.
That takes it to the next destination and achieving what we really achieve. Every one of us getting out and going back to the spiritual world. But look, at the industry is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're not changing anything.
But we can. If we stop buying it, it goes away.
But that's so hypothetical. You have to be very frank there. I appreciate the ideology, but it's so hypothetical. It's not happening.
But you're saying you want it to end. You want it to end. But you mentioned to me about supply and demand when I said, am I doing something wrong when I buy meat? You said it was supply and demand. You're contributing. How am I not doing something wrong if I pay for an animal to die in the dairy industry? Surely it's the same thing.
We're devotees of Krishna.
Yeah.
That's our first thing. And as devotees of Krishna, we follow his word. That's what it means. And he says, don't do meat. You can't offer that to me. But you can offer dairy. So the point is, he's drawn that line for us.
But in today's world, the meat industry is the dairy industry. Those animals die in the dairy industry.
It's true, yeah. But still, we accept this conviction.
I understand what you're meaning, but we are not really contributing to kill the animal. For example, you kill the animal, you put a flesh in the shelf. But if you don't milk a one-day animal, she will be in pain. You know that, because I came from background as a village.
Yeah.
One day you don't stop milking, the cows gets pain.
I would just say that because we're artificially inseminating them, that's why they're pregnant. So we're causing the problem where they need to be milked, which wouldn't exist if we didn't breed them.
Well, you see, God made cows, right? Mm-hmm. In between the people trying to be, do the cruelties to the cows.
Yeah.
But that does not belongs to God's idea. So I have a choice.
Yeah.
I buy the milk and give a benefit to the cows as a spiritual benefit, or you may say it like, okay, materially the money is going to originally there, but we are looking as a devotee of Krishna.
Sure.
We are looking as a spiritual perspective.
What do you think Krishna would say if he saw what we were doing to cows in those factories, in those slaughterhouses? What would he say for dairy?
Stop all the slaughtering houses and stop all the nonsense to the cow.